Welcome to Rangers Radio on the Matchday show, the world's one and only unique live phone-in show for Rangers supporters all over the world. Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio on this post-match show. Rangers versus Braga at Ibrox in the Europa League. Joining myself, Oxshire, on the show. It's Port Bear. Evening, Port.
Evening, mate. How we doing?
Aye, good. Bizarrely at this moment in time. I'm quite looking forward to this tonight.
Aye, well, it's a team we've got a good record against. Had a good night with our GB at Ibrox against Braga. James Davy won on the night. Yeah.
Fond memories of that night when the guy went to the box and the tickets were there.
Aye, but it was a good night. And we do have a good record against this team. They've only beat us once, but they could be the first team to beat two sides so for them within 2 weeks if they turn us over tonight, mate. But I'm hoping Danny Rowe's going to keep this role continuing, mate.
Yeah, mate. We should take on Danny Rowe, mate. And before we take on Danny Rowe and what's happened at the club, mate, before we get the team, just your personal view.
Now, obviously, there's a few things happened since I spoke to you. So, there's been, Danny Rowe's come in. I think he's still evaluating the squad, in my opinion. He spoke, that interview when he spoke about his red, amber, green, how he was sort of evaluating the squad. That's where he was doing it. And it's only my opinion, this, by the way, but when he was talking about that, and then the next couple of days after that, you seen Thelwell bagged, the CEO bagged Patrick Stewart. And I thought, God, his report must have been pretty damning if they've two been punted like that. Because it seemed, that's the way it seemed to fall. He spoke about the red, amber, green, and then bang, bang, look, your players are well below standard par, whatever you want to say, too young. Not enough experience in there. That's one of my sort of complaints about the team right now. But Danny Rowe's come in, mate, and he's got 4 wins in the league in a row. And that's what they said at the start of the interview. I would want, improvement in Europe next year, but I said this when I was on the show. I would take just us being domestically strong again and trying to catch who's above us and get as close as we can and, get this form back to where we should be, winning trophies again. I'm happy with what I'm seeing, mate, because he's a manager that seems to react. Different formations, different ideas, young, enthusiastic, which worried us a lot at the very start. But no, mate, see, slowly but surely, I'm getting right behind Danny Rowe's teammate. And
you mentioned the word bagged, mate. Would you have bagged the two of them?
I think if you're really honest, I think you have to say that question, because I don't think they've done their homework up here. I don't think they've done their diligence in regards to, I think, the series on the rest of the league. Concentrate on that English market, where we probably in the last few years not been very successful taking players there. Not many we've taken for there has really worked to the standards we have. I'm going to use Rodwell as an example here. He came as an experienced pro that had done quite a lot of the good season the previous, which I thought to help them get promotion. It was a big part of it. And so far, mate, he's just looked like nowhere near the level that Rangers require. The boy Asgard as well. Flatter to deceive. I think he's a player, Oxshire. I think there's good players there. But I think they need the oldies about them, mate. They need experience, and that's a lot of what we're seeing. I think you can see it in the team. They're naive at times. They look vulnerable at times, especially when we're in attack. And I think that's the biggest reason they've been shown the door, mate. I think Rose homework on the squad, and he's he's not happy, mate. He's obviously not happy with what he's got. He's making best with what he's got, but he's obviously not happy with what the level of player he's got, because he's got a tough old task, mate. Rangers is not just a small job, and he obviously realises he obviously really gets how big a club we are, and he clearly thinks that what we've got in the training ground at the moment isn't up to standard. That's only my opinion, but yeah, that's the way I feel about it.
I was intrigued to see what you've got to say, mate. Look, you've talked about what we've got. That leads us nicely into the night's team, mate. Let's hear the team.
Our starting lineup tonight, mate, is Butland, Tav, Giga, Fernandez, Aarons, Diamande, Raskin, Barron, Danilo, Gassama, and Chermite. And my subs are Kelly, Wright, Magoma, Adamson, Cameron, Curtis, Antman, Asgard, and Majovsky. So again, you even look at the subs, mate, there's not a great deal of, depth in there.
No.
There's not.
No. I suppose the talking point will be Aaron's coming back in. I don't think Barron coming in with his energy is a surprise. Diamante's no kick to ball, but you're hoping this will be the night. We're light up front, so you've got Ant-Man's been poor. Gasman's not been great the last few weeks. He was poor on Saturday, but he's shown a bit more, so it'll be interesting to see what Danilo plays. That looks to me as if, I wonder if he's going to try and make it a 4, or he's going to go with the 4-2-3-1, mate. What's your thinking?
I think we'll go. I think we'll definitely go. I think what he might do. I think it's going to be a 4. I think Aaron's going to be playing at left back. I think Barron. So Raskin will sit, and then you'll have Barron and Diamante's energy in front of them, and then I think you've got Danilo in that sort of 10 position. Gassama on the left, and Chermite will just be the target man, mate. They'll be hoping to get Gassama and Danilo and one of them breaking from midfield, hopefully, ruin him to try and get bodies round Chermite and feed off the big guy. That's what he's supposed to be doing, mate. He's supposed to be a target man that we can hit and get guys round him and close to him and feed off him, and get 1-2s going with him, put him in, or he puts Shure, etc. But that's where I see it probably similar to you, mate, tonight.
Okay, mate. What's your take on Braga, mate?
Braga they've still got to see that quality, mate. They've still got a number of players. The Horta brothers, one of them's still here. He's their top goal scorer at the moment. They've had an indifferent start to the Portuguese league, so they have. They're sitting currently 7th, but they're 5th in the Europa League, so they've been doing pretty well in Europe. So Ricardo, it's Horta. He's the top goal scorer in the team with 7. And then we've got Rodrigo Salazar. He's our prominent midfielder. He contributes, mate, with both goals and assists. He's got 5 and 6 assists for the season so far. And then you've got a young centre back, the regular in the squad, Siku Nakate, who's a young up and coming, and there's a lot of teams actually looking at him right now. And then they've got the old general in midfield, mate, João Moutinho. This guy's played at the highest level with Monaco and Sporting Lisbon, all the big clubs. He's played for his country, 154 caps. And he's in the midfield, mate. He'll just he sits there and dictates the game, mate. He slows it down, he'll fire it up, etc. And then
Good
Victor
player,
Gomez
mate.
is the right back. He's a player, mate. He's a ball. We've seen him loads of times at Ibrox, mate. He's played against us a few times in a few different teams at Ibrox. He's an outstanding player, mate. And as I said, last one was the one that stands out for me was Victor Gomez, the right back. Again, very consistent performer, mate. Just goes up and down there like a train all day on that right hand side. So mate, they've still got players in key areas who can hurt us. So we will need to be on our toes. As I said, there's a few old heads in their team, mate, but it's what we need. They've got what we lack, in my opinion. The last match in the Europa, they lost 4-3 to Genk. So you can get at them, mate. They're ready to go at. They have got a defence that you can get at. So, if that's anything to go by, conceding 4 goals, getting beat 4-3, then we're at home. It's Thursday night. It's European night. So let's see if this young squad can turn them round, and let's hope Tav can drive the team forward, mate, to get a decent result.
All right, mate. We're getting these phone lines opened.
Aye, let's hear what Troops have got to say. Aye, really interested. Aye. Yeah.
Okay, let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
People join us all the time, Port. Give us a team.
The team is Jack Butland, James Tavernier, Max Aarons, Connor Barron, Yusuf Chamiti, Mohamed Diamande, Gassama, Nasser Giga, Emmanuel Fernandez, Nicholas Raskin, and Danilo. Subs are Liam Kelly, Kieran Wright, Theo Asgard, Leo Cameron, Oliver Atman, Bojan Miovski, Jaden Magoma, Callum Adamson, and Finlay Curtis. That's your subs for tonight, mate.
All right, mate. Very inexperienced centre-half pairings, mate. What's your take on it?
Oft. Aye, it's scary, mate. That's you see the first few minutes against Livingston, your big boy Fernandez. So that's sort of missed kick, and Butland managed to to get it just, thank God. But aye, but mate, he's got to show. We paid decent money for him, and then the good thing about the big fella, he's clearly a threat in the other box. And with a new set piece coach and the ability this guy's got, once he gets going, mate, you've seen how difficult it was for Liverpool. Get some big hammer throwers in their team as well. But when that big guy connected with that ball at that pace, there was only one result. So we have to use him. We have to use him, especially in set pieces. Anything about that box, that big man has to be, the main target. He has to be the guy that we're trying to look for, because he does look quite strong in the air, mate. He clearly does. My worry is with the two of them. Yeah, it was. My only worry is with the back line, mate, is who's doing the talking. I know Tav does a lot of talking, but when you're a centre pairing and a centre back pairing, who's going to be doing the talking? Giga and Fernandez. That's my only worry with them two there, mate. I know Butland's behind them. I know Butland's there. He should be again organising, and I suppose Max Aarons should be experienced. Yeah, Max Aarons is experienced. I wonder if that's why Magoma's dropped to it, just because I've went with Aarons' experience. More, played at a higher level more times than the young man. But I think the young man's played all right over the last few weeks. But I get why he's thrown him in. I think it's purely experience, but he's throwing Max Aarons in, because that was a surprise to me.
All right, mate, I'll tell you what we'll go. We'll get Danny Rowe, if you don't mind getting yourself on mute, and we'll hear for the gaffer. He might explain that very question.
Danny, back to Europa League action. Is this another challenge that you and the squad are really excited for?
Yeah, European game is always special. I think under the lights, those are the games you want to play. We are prepared well. Hopefully we bring all those things on the grass. We have some injuries, we know this. I think this is time for other players to step in, to get this experience. For some players it's the first European game as well today. But I'm very positive to go in such a game, and for me it's about bring our direction on the pitch, that we are brave, that we are not scared to lose something, we want to win something, and if you can do this and we bring the right intensity and the right attention for such a game, then we have a chance at home.
Yeah, just on your team, 3 changes from the weekend, just talk us through those.
Yeah, I think, of course, you look from the one side who's available. On the other side, it's also important to understand what we need for such a game. I think this is also a tactical part, how you start a game, how you can end the game. 2-3 position was very close today. Yeah, there were a competition on this position and make this decision. I expect that we have a strong midfield today. And we understand how they press us. Yeah, they are a lot man to man. I think this is important to find the right balance, in which spaces we can go, in which spaces we can't go. And then I want to see intensity against the ball. We have to be sharp. We play against a team who loves to have the ball. It means for us that we have to be aggressive, a good opportunity to win balls, and sometimes you have to be suffer. You have to understand when you can go in high pressing. Sometimes you have to stay very compact, give them not the spaces. And if you do this and bring this together with a lot of patience and passions, then you can go.
Just lastly, what type of challenge do you expect from Braga?
It is a team who understands to win games in different ways. I think they're aggressive, they love to have the ball, but of course this team has also a heart, and they will bring this in the duels. I think this is also understand that we have to be also adults, and we have to go in such a duels and give them not too much spaces. I want to see our team is more aggressive today and wants to win more this game than them.
Thanks for that, Fox. A few injuries, so Mikey Moore. It looks as if Joe Rothwell as well, mate. So we are short. You know, that's two experienced players and a guy who was starting to play well. But you've just got to go. You've got what bear. There's no point worrying about, is there?
No, and also on that big miss, mate, because I did think he was starting to show a bit of form, was the boy Cornelius. You know what I mean? So you've got your probably your two main centre backs that would have probably started in it out. So, but there's no point in crying over Bill Bolt, mate. You can only be the one you've got. So that's the team it is. And like Danny Rose said there, the very least we should expect for this team is go out there and win your battles, win your duels. You know, first and second balls, get out there and get in their faces. Because they will try and get the ball down, mate. They're a tidy football on that side. They will try and they'll have a lot of possession at times, and that's where we have to be very, very patient. And their time will need to hurt and sit in and just be compact, because that's what this team, because they sort of, you know, the limited resources we have at the moment. I think that's what we have to do. And then you've got the pace of Chirmity, Gassama, and Danilo up front. You know that we can break on them and hopefully hurt them, mate. But as I said, there's no point worrying about them. We know what they're going to bring. I want to see this side, like this young side, start to show us, you know, some form. And as I said, I think you're seeing better and better performances every time Danny Rowe gets a chance to get them on the training pitch, mate. And that's the way he's going to get a chance with them.
I didn't think Saturday was great, mate. I think you could argue that was right up to Saturday.
Yeah. No, it's been some have been a hard watch year, but you can't. I mean,
Saturday was as bad as anything this season, mate. It was bad. It was poor.
100%, totally agree. But like I said, I'm not going to throw any on your current manager, because to get on the grass, as you well know, and get training properly, and you know, get his ethos and his style of play, well, you know, and with what he's got right now, Oxford is well short. He's not got the tools for the way he wants to play. You know, if anybody's watched his team at like Sheffield Wednesday and stuff, you know, it was at least he had some quality, didn't it, to use, but he's got very limited resources Oxford. And then after that international break, he's come back and he's lost, as you said, he's lost Cornelius, Suter, Rothwell. So as your three experienced players to your squad right away, you know, and they probably started. Three of them would probably started maybe right Oxford. So he's went with what he's got available, and as I said, I won't hold him accountable until he starts getting, number one, gets his young players in, and number two, he gets somewhere, you know, time on the pitch with his squad.
It's only a bit of hiding and nothing, you know, but we have been left in some mess, and well, people, it's gone. We have to put it behind us, mate. We have to start looking forward. Hopefully, keep winning football matches. Gets to January, get a couple of replacements and reinforcements. Hopefully, new experience. I want first teamers, guys, that go right in. So there's no time for projects. I don't even think it's time for loan players. But that's going to be difficult because it's a hard market, mate. Go back to the night, you know. hopefully we can see some improvement. We'll get a reasonably experienced midfield, mate.
Aye, when you look at, Barron, Raskin, Diamandi, they have been at a club a while now, a few years now. There's certainly energy in there, mate. We've seen the good and the bad of Diamandi. We've seen him at anywhere near the level that we know he can get to. I thoroughly I seen Raskin's interview and he doesn't believe he's been anywhere near his level either. But obviously that was due to his fault with the previous manager, etc. So he's finding his feet under his new gaffer and building bridges again with himself and his boys' teammates and the club. And then Conor Barron, what he's going to give, mate. He's going to give everything he's got. He will run and run and run and put out fires and one challenge, break up play. And that's where we're at moment, mate. That's my worry always is with our midfield, mate, is where goals come from. But I think
there's no goals or creativity in there, is there? Because always Raskin, he can score goals, mate. He's particularly good in the air for a guy his size. And he can get in the box and score a goal. Diamandi's not done a lot. He's done a couple, yeah. He scored. Was a game last year. He turned that magnificent sort of lob. He has done yeah. But I can't remember Diamandi making a goal. Maybe away this season, away in Pilsen, he scored it back to young. Then the shot were in, and then it went to young Lyle Cameron. But very little creativity. Conor Barron. I can't mind him making a goal. I don't think he scored a goal for us, mate, and that's a problem, mate, yeah.
That's what I mean, mate. And that puts, there's a lot of pressure being added to a proven goal scorer in the Scottish League, Majowski, and the £8 million man, Chermiti. That's why the pressure's on the guys. And I feel a bit sorry for them, mate, because the lack of service that's coming for even wingers, mate. I don't think Gassama's offering enough when it comes to fizzing them across the box and putting crosses in. My fullbacks, Tav still will always be about and putting decent delivery in, but you're looking for your midfield upstairs and your wide men to provide for your strikers, and our strikers are feeding on nothing, mate, and that's why they're always dropping deep. And for me, they're overrunning because they're trying to drop deep and running left, they're running right, they're trying to press, and then before you know it, they're 50 yards to go where they should, and we've broken, with nobody out of the box. And that's one of the biggest problems I think we've got, mate. There's a lot of creativity, is poor.
I get it, mate. If you're chasing the ball at a dug up front, mate, 99 times 100, it goes where you should be and you're not there.
Aye. And that's all they're trying to do, mate. They're only trying to, because they know they're under pressure. They know that they'll read and hear what we read and hear, mate. And the pressure's on them because they're not getting the numbers. Because any decent Rangers striker worth their salt, the amount of chances that any normal Rangers team would create would score 30. Gary Miller, Chris Boyd, two Scottish boys scored plenty of goals for us. Alan McCoy scored plenty of goals for us because they had service. We had midfielders, we had wide players that could provide. But right now, in the current setup, mate, we've not got anybody that's given us our strikers any service at all. And that's midfield and my wide players who are capable in that, mate.
What's your view on the inverted wingers, mate? I know that, I get that move. You come in, you bend it in, I get it, mate. It's simple, really. Yeah. But what's your view? Is it too predictable?
I understand why they're there, and I think it's alright if you're in possession and you're dominating. I think it's fine and dandy to do that. But I think in this, like I said, this current young, naive squad, I would just stick to basics and say your fullbacks stay where they are, and if they can get wide and go and help, like Gassama and say Aaron's right on that left side, if they can go and link up and get down there and interchange at times, I'd rather just done that than this try to be fancy with these inverted wingers. I think it only works if you're dominating play, mate, and if you're, just add another midfielder in there because you're so dominant. You don't need four at the back, or you don't even need two at the back at times if you're doing so well. So you're two. You can push one inverted, and then you can push Tav right far up on the right hand side if you wanted to. If you were dominating, but right now we're not dominating games, so we've not got the luxury. But we should be able to invert one and push the other one wide, and vice versa. Tav could invert into the right hand side of midfield, but it should allow the left back, Magoma, or tonight it's going to be Aaron's, to get forward up that left to add another. Kasama can come in one, and Magoma or Aaron's goes by him as well. You know what I mean? To get closer to your strikers, but we're not dominating games enough here for that to work, and that's how that inverted winger fullback process works. It works when you're dominating. It doesn't work when you're not. When you can't pass, 5 passes consecutively.
I get it, mate. My problem with it is, mate, is if I'm a centre, mate, and I'm making runs, and then you're cutting inside, do I stop making the runs? You know what it's like, mate. You get to know people, and when certain people have got the ball in the team, you don't make a run because you know what they're going to do. And then once you stop doing that run, it gets easier for defenders, isn't it?
Aye, because they can just they read the game, and especially a team like tonight, when you're playing a team with experience, they'll figure us out quickly, mate. If we start, being predictable and being silly, in possession. Possession for me is big tonight, mate. We have to keep the ball. We have to keep the ball in for long spells. As I say, we'll all suffer and we will hurt at times, and we have to remain compact during them times. But we've got pace. There's pace in that team. Danilo's quite quick. Chermiti's quite quick. Kasama's, pacey. Both Aaron's is pacey. We've got pace to hurt them because, like as I said to you earlier on, with Coutinho and stuff, Salazar, they're not the quickest in midfield, mate, but they use the ball very well. And then they've got, as I said, Hotter will drop in and the number 10 position at times. And then they've got the two boys up front, Navarro and Martinez, who are both quick as well, mate. So we'll have to be on the ball and be really, really switched on. For me, the first 15, 20 minutes, keep it tight. Just keep it tight. Don't lose a goal. And then let's see what happens. As I said, that you can get goals at this team, Oxford, but we just need to make chances.
Stay in the game and no stupid errors, mate, yeah?
That's it.
Stay in the game and no stupid errors. No, a chance will come. Right, listen, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Having looking at that team, I don't see who's playing in the right forward area, mate.
Could it be a 4-3-1-2? So Tav, Fernandez, Giga, Aarons, Diamande, Barron, Raskin, Gassama in the hole as a 10, and Chermiti and Danilo up front.
Richard with comfy because Tav and Aaron's only going to go up and doing that part like that, mate.
No, that's the only thing with that formation that you've literally got no width. You've literally got no width. I actually thought maybe the boy Curtis could have a wee chance tonight, mate. I really did. I thought Curtis could have been used tonight. But as he going with two up front, I don't know.
You might still get a chance, mate. So I think you're right. I think it's a back four. I think it'll be Raskin and Barron in front. And then I think it could be Gasman, Diamande, and Danilo, and then a Chermiti up front, mate. And out of possession, we're going to a 5 in midfield, yeah?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Aye, I could accept that. That's keeping it tight. That's keeping the team compact as well. So but that's a shift. That's a shift for Danilo and a shift for Diamande.
Right.
But You know what I mean? But we've got Asgard, Ant-Man, Curtis on the bench, mate, that can come on and should make it's time for these guys to step up, make an impact. Oxygen,
Modern football, mate. Modern football. Go out and use everything you've got for 60 minutes, mate.
That's it. That's it.
5 subs, aye. You know.
I remember the first one I seen. See the Ant-Man boy, mate. The first time I saw him was his debut, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a good signing, this. And then I get Russell Martin, and I just thought it was a Russell Martin effect on him. I just thought, now that he's got his claws into him and coached him, he's not kicked a box here since his debut. And on his debut at night at Ibrox, he was outstanding. He just arrived and he disappeared. And he scored for Finland during his break here when he was away.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Aye. What's your view on being a substitute, mate? Because I don't know, it never happened to me.
I think, as you said, mate, in the modern game, I never liked it myself, but I never liked it. But I think in the modern game, mate, I think I don't think you get a start 11, but I think with the pace of the game now and the amount of running, the fitness of these guys, and this press, and especially the press against a low block and all that carry on, you're expecting these guys to go and, like you say, give you everything they've got, blood and guts for 60 minutes, and then you have to make changes. I like you, I do agree. I think that's just the modern game, that it's blood and thunder, mate, and you have to be at peak level of fitness to play in this current climate. That's the way it is.
I'd be looking to make 4 subs, depending on the game, mate. Of course, 4 subs, always keep one. Don't go too early in case somebody gets hurt, mate. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's 15 players you're using. That's nearly half a team you're. Excuse me. That's nearly half a team you're replacing, Port. And I think what I don't like, and I think the rules have got to be looked at, is players that's been booked. I think they need to look at they're going to either transfer that booking, or there's all bear safe. Here's an all bearism that if you're being booked, you kind of get subbed.
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
Listen, it's up for debate, and it's another night and another time. But I think that the subs, what they've done is it's elect players to get stuck in, get the damage, lay one on, get booked after you go, and then somebody else comes on. Yeah, maybe does the damage again, gets booked. And the guy's been cropped. Yeah, we know what happens, mate. We've seen it. So hopefully it's just part of the game. Listen, I'd do it myself if I was a manager. Yeah,
the only trouble we've got, mate, we've not got anybody on the pitch that could go and do damage like that, though. That's one thing. That's one thing I do think my team lacks as well. Was that, but I've seen it for ages, and I keep saying it's going to improve, and I keep saying a new manager will change it, or he'll go and get a different type of player. There's David's nasty in there, mate. I
thought Rothwell was going to give him that grown up in there, mate. It was just going to win ball, look people there, keep it simple, and it's just no work, mate. Yeah,
that's what we saw when he played in the Championship, mate. And the Championship's a tough old league. It's still it's still pretty physical. It's still, and he when you watched him in it, and then when you go by reports about him playing in it, they reckon he was head and shoulders above the level in the Championship. He could play in the Premier League, but just didn't get the chance. And I did. I thought he'd come up here and absolutely nail it, mate. I really did. I thought that season, in particular with Southampton, when, like you said, he was just, bumping people at the road, very clever on the ball, could twist left, all right, two-footed, made numerous goals, great with set pieces, great with corners. I thought this guy should come up here and absolutely coast it, but for whatever reason, mate, it's just another English player, a player from down south that has come up to Scotland and went, oh, this should be a bit tougher than I thought, And it's happened to better players than him, Oxford, and it'll happen again. But he for me was one of my big, because of the age and the calibre and the experience. I thought, right, that's the player we need. That's the guy that's going to help the rest of that young midfield. And it's just not worked out Oxford at all. Same with the boy, Asgard as well. For his 4 goals for Norway that he got when he was on international duty
Aye.
previously. Again, you think he's going to go and kick on after that, and then he finds himself back out the team and back on the bench again because I don't. It looks to me like they can't find his best position at Oxford. Is he a
I've got a
10?
different.
Is he a wide
I've got a
player?
different. I've got a different view, mate.
Right, okay, let's hear it.
Right. Look, football at a certain level, mate. Everybody, a lot of people can do a lot of things. You know what? Yeah. Most people can do the tricks, the flicks. Yeah, particularly in training. Some people do that on the part, and some people don't. Yeah. But when you get to a level, it's 90% attitude and 10% ability, mate. There's no doubt the guy's got ability, but if you've not got that attitude, mate, you can't move up the ladder.
He's a big unit to Oxford.
Six
You know,
foot
I
two,
was
mate.
surprised when I saw.
6'2".
I was surprised when I saw him. You know, on the pitch, he's a unit.
His hair's very similar to yours.
I wish. Maybe get my beard done that way, maybe.
He's got
But
ability, mate. You can see. I mean,
aye,
they've always scored. But it's not just about having ability. Yeah, you've got to have that hunger, desire, attitude. And also, it's a team game, Port, yeah? It's a
aye.
team game.
See, and that's what the squad in Oxford. Like, we're talking about a team game. We're talking about experience, leaders. You know, Butland and Tav. Aye, that's there. You can sort of throw Raskin in there as well because he's got his international, experience now, and he's a regular pick for Belgium. But I think beyond that, mate, we struggle with guys that, let's just say, when you're new at a club and you're still trying to settle in and you're looking around for experience to help you through games at times. I've been there, mate. I've been there as a young guy and playing with grown men, and I found it really, really tough. And I'm thinking, I'm not ready for this. And then you're looking for your older heads to get you through games, and I just don't see enough of that in my team, mate. And I think that's one of the reasons that we are a very young, naive squad because we've not got enough experience, mate. And I totally agree with your sentiment earlier on when you said when January does come, it needs to be a player that's going to be on the grass immediately. No more youth players or projects or nothing like that. They need to be ready to go and on the pitch.
Asgard's 24, but he's no 18, 19. He's 24, mate.
I know that, but he's still, in terms of being at Rangers Oxford, Rangers are a different beast. We always talk about this heavy shirt, that old cliche and all that, playing for teams like Wigan and some of the teams that he's played for, and then come to play for Rangers where the expectation is, we don't lose. You're only 2 games away or 3 games away from disaster. People getting sacked, players getting dropped. I think that pressure has got to mirror this squad, mate. I've never seen, in one transfer window, the players we've got, I've never seen a team that's looked so under pressure and so scared to take the ball, so scared to take decisions, make the big decisions. And that's what counts on the pitch, Oxford, at that level. When you're on there, you're in front of 50,000 every week. We've got a lot of disgruntled fans, and you're under a microscope, mate. As soon as you sign for our club, you're under a microscope. And I just think, unfortunately, there's too many of this squad that are not ready or they're not at the level to play for Rangers, mate. Unfortunately, that's just my opinion. By the way, I know people might think it's different, but that's just what I think. I think there's ones that's not got the quality, and there's guys there that just haven't got the cojones, let's just say, to play for the club.
Aye, I think it's a combination of both, mate.
Yeah.
I think some of them have handled the pressure, and others one just should never have been signed, so they're not good enough. So, but listen, they'll pull that blue jersey on the night. We wish them all the best. We want to get the team on it, and yeah, we're talking about team doom, but it's an honest reflection. We're going into this game tonight, and we want to win it. We want to win it. I don't feel overly confident. I'm looking forward to it. I don't feel overly confident in the way we have done in the past. And into European ties, we were punching way above the weight. Now we're under our weight, but it's time to maybe get a performance, hopefully get a result. The result's more important, arguably, than the performance. Keep the momentum going and then move on to Sunday with a good feeling that we're starting to build something slowly. Blue shoots, if you like. But
let's be honest, mate. Roll be desperate to end as he bids to lift his new team for the very bottom of the Europa League. In this round of fixtures, where we sit with a 7-goal difference just after 4 games. You know what I mean? But let's be honest, Braga's not going to make it easy for us. They've been in Scotland having 6 of the last 8 matches in our competitions. Only lost 2. They've also made a great start in the actual European League this year, winning 3 of their 4 open games, mate. And as I said, they lost the last one 4-3 to Genk. So as I said, use that. They're 2 bits of motivation. Let's get off the bottom of this table. We're better than the bottom of that table next year. We've proven it. I know this team's not proven nothing yet, but Rangers as a club, as you said, have punched above their weight and done very well in this tournament. So that's one motivation. And your second motivation should be to keep this winning run going. We've got four league wins in a trot. Let's take it in the Europa League now. Let's get one in the Europa League and see where it takes us. Because it's amazing what a wee bit of confidence as we win next year. And you start building that winning mentality, and slowly but surely, and then eventually when January comes, if we're still on that wee roll, we can add a bit of experience and further get up this Europa League. I think what we should do for now is just try and finish now as high as we can in that Europa League, try and make as much money as we can. But if it was me, I'd be throwing all my eggs in my basket for the Scottish Premier League and pick the strongest side as I possibly could for that tournament alone, just to get that league. I would just use this to keep momentum going, mate.
Right, I'm going to put you on the spot, right? How's it going to go tonight, mate?
Heart or head? This is a hard thing next year. It's heart or head. It really is. It really is. I'm going to go and say we're going to get our first league win in the Europa League tonight, mate. But it's going to be tight. It's going to be 1-0 or 2-1 to Rangers.
Listen, my big mate Southside will think I'm mad, but if you look at it sensibly, our defence hasn't been great. We've not kept many clean sheets, so that points to we're not going to keep a clean sheet. Hopefully, we can come out the victors by one goal, mate. Yeah, that'll be a 1-goal victory. No, I don't think it'll be a bridge, man, mate. I think there'll be goals. I think there'll be goals. Yeah. Only based on what we've watched, mate. I would love a clean sheet and score 2 goals, mate. And one saying how good we've played, but if you're looking at how we've played, it might be great to keep them out. All right. Listen, Port, an absolute pleasure, mate. Enjoy that.
Aye. There's a lot to talk about. Rangers are in a transition next year. We are where we are at the moment, but let's go and enjoy this game. A nice wee Thursday night. We always enjoy a Thursday night, us Rangers fans. I used to say it's your tournament. Let's go and prove to everybody that it is your tournament, and let's get a roll going in this league, and start winning games.
I see what you did.
Aye, just let's get going, mate. Let's get going in this tournament. Let's get going.
All right, listen, Port Bear, thanks for joining us here on Rangers Radio. We'll be back 15 minutes after the final whistle, hopefully celebrating the Rangers victory. Take it away, Old School Blue.
I sailed the wild Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I sailed around the stormy capes and I've heard the forties roar. I've climbed the Indian Ocean and I've sailed the China Sea. But there's a sea back home in Scotland, more than all the rest